Hello and namaste, my name is Nidhi Nagori and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're discovering yet another country, a country that so many of you have been requesting for so long, a country that I've wanted to talk about for so long, but I couldn't because they were under strict lockdown. But finally, their government has announced plans of reopening the borders and allowing international students and international workers in. I'm pretty sure you know it from the title, this country is Australia. Today we're going to discuss your pathway if you want to move to Australia. We'll discuss why the number of scholarships for international students are on a rise, why there can be an increase in the number of work permits to be issued, and if there are any free courses that you can do from your house and get certified by these Australian universities and colleges. We'll cover all of that in today's video, so stick around. Before we move any further, I want to thank Unacademy for collaborating yet again with me on my video. If you guys have been on my channel for some time, you know that I am an absolute Unacademy loyalist because I feel they've truly revolutionized the concept of education in India by making it economical and accessible to many students. Today I'm here to talk about the Winners Batch, which is a flagship batch which is being introduced for any student who plans to write their exam in May 2022 for CA Group 1 Intermediate. Now, if you are one of those, then you should absolutely sign up for Winners Batch. What I love about Unacademy is that you can pay for one subscription but get access to all their benefits. Each subscription brings along with it a choice of choosing which educator you want to go to. If you don't like one particular educator, you can move on to someone else. You also get access to live classes, recorded classes, special doubt sharing classes, and you get a lot of notes. Apart from this, there's always an option of getting the iconic subscription or getting access to some extra mentorship. The mentors with Unacademy are seasoned mentors. Trust me, because I've done a session with them. I know them personally. Apart from this, Unacademy also has a 1 crore scholarship pool. That's right, you heard it right. 1 crore scholarship pool. And it keeps doing special sessions which are absolutely free, one of which is what to do after articleship. Now, if you want to sign up for all the benefits that come along with the Unacademy subscription, then you can get a 10% discount as well if you use my coupon code CANIDHI. Everything you need to know about Unacademy and about the amazing products that they offer is in the description box below, and make sure that you sign up with them. Now let's come back to Australia. Today we're going to take a trip across the oceans and go to Australia without a visa. Alright, so first let's talk about what's happening. Recently, the government of Australia announced its reopening plan. A lot of experts tend to say that this is because there is an election looming in Australia, which has to be announced before May of 2022. To make sure that the current government performs well in the elections, one of the Ram-Ban, so to say, of the current government was the reopening plan. And Australian borders are coming back to life after a whole period of 18 months. Yes, 18 months. That's what it took. In these 18 months, the country saw a lot of labor shortage. Currently, Australia stands number 4 in the world, right after US, Canada, and UK in terms of labor shortages. The benefit that US, Canada, and UK have had is the fact that their borders were opened long ago, which means they got a chance to get talent in the right places and were able to plug their labor shortages. Something similar has not happened with Australia. In fact, a few weeks ago, the government had arranged a special visa to get seasonal agricultural workers in. The program wasn't an entire success because it was limited in its scope and because the labor shortage happened in multiple areas. You guys know I work full-time and a lot of my work is in Australia currently. My colleagues in Australia have mentioned multiple times to me that they have actually lost a lot of resources. Why? Because once the lockdown hit, a lot of these workers were immigrants who went back to their home country and could not return. Some of these workers had gone back for things like family emergency, but because the borders were closed and because they were on visa, they weren't able to re-enter. As a result, the country has seen huge economic losses. Now, why am I giving you all of this story? Because this ties perfectly well into what I'm going to say next. Now you'll understand why the international student scholarships are on a rise. So Australia is a country of immigrants. It needs immigrants to survive, just like Canada. For the last 18 months, it has not met its quota of immigrants. The best way to get immigrants for any of these countries which are seeking immigrants all the time is to get them through the international student route. In order to attract good international talent, as students, Australia will have to increase their international student scholarship, which we've already seen is on a rise. Today, I'm giving you a list of 10 such scholarships. That's right, 10 such scholarships which are available for international students in Australia. These are available for a range of studies, including master's, bachelor's, PhD, whatever you want to study, even associate degrees. After this, we'll discuss which of these colleges are offering free certification courses, and I will be leaving all those links online as well. Before I start giving you the list of scholarships, I do want to mention the source of all the information that I've collected is the government's website of education, which you are seeing up on the screen right now. I absolutely love this website. In order to find scholarships and courses, what you can do is just scroll down. You'll see a button for scholarships. Go there. First, select your nationality. For me, most of my audience is from India, so I went ahead and selected Indian. And this is the number of scholarships that I saw. Then I ran a multiple filters, went through a bunch of scholarships to come up with a list of fully funded scholarships. So today, my video is only going to give you a list of fully funded scholarships. This is not giving you the list of partial scholarships. The Australian government has a budget of over $250 million to make sure that international students can come in and be well funded. How do I define fully funded scholarships? Everything is covered. So your visa, insurance, airfare, stay, tuition, food, local travel, etc. All of it is covered. That's my definition of fully funded scholarships. So now let's get into the list. The first one is Griffith University for Masters. The second one is Edith Cowan University for PhD. The third is Monash University for Masters and PhD. The fourth is Deakin University for Masters and PhD. Next up, University of Melbourne, Masters and PhD again. Then you have University of Western Australia, Masters and PhD again. Next up, University of Newcastle, Bachelor's, Masters and PhD. Then we also have the Australian National University, again for Masters and PhD. Next up, Marcus Oldham College for Masters and PhD along with Bachelor's. And my favorite, International College of Management for Bachelor's, Masters, PhD and Associate degree. While I gave you a list of fully funded scholarships, I highly recommend that you go onto the Study Australia website and make sure that you do your own research. Please make sure that you always apply for the course of your interest. Just because there's a scholarship somewhere, don't go for it. Make sure you only choose courses that you think you will be a good fit for. One of the things that I haven't covered in my videos is the extensive scholarships like the government scholarships or the private organization scholarships in Australia. While those are fully funded, I am of the opinion that those require a high level of intelligence and research background and academic scores. And I personally think even I wouldn't make the cut in that. But if you're interested in learning more about them, make sure you head to the education website of the Australian government and get your information. There are a lot of awards given to international students. These are called Australian awards and they're absolutely fully funded. You can go to Australia based on those and do your studies. And of course, a lot of these come with a research project involved. From what I know, the experience that people tend to gain out of such scholarships is extremely enlightening, so your life can kind of change. But I personally feel that these are tough to get into, and I want to focus on what's right now, which means these individual university and college scholarships. Now let's talk about what if you're not sure you want to move to Australia. What if you want to try a few courses, see if you can, do a course online, get a certification online, try some course. If it is fitting your mindset well, if you think this is a good fit for you, just in terms of your career progression, in terms of your educational progression, then how do you go about it? Are there any free courses out there? Well, your girl is a little bit of a Google researcher. I think I can get a PhD in that. But I was able to find 8 courses. I will try to find more, and if I do find them, I will link them in the description box below. But I was able to find 8 such courses that are basically Australian university courses. Some of them are from Monash University, some of them are from RMIT, but there are a bunch of options for you guys. So I'm leaving all the links in the description box below. Make sure that you do them. Even if you don't plan to study in Australia, I think it's a good opportunity. Why? Because I personally see, and this is my prediction. I could be wrong, but this is my prediction. This is what I know from the work that I actually do. I personally see that the number of work permits that will be issued will be on a rise in Australia. We saw that happen in US. We also saw that happen in Canada. And we are seeing it happen in UK as well. So there is no doubt. So I'm kind of certain that Australia will also start issuing work permits to foreigners. And if you have a Australian certification on your resume, that always helps. I kind of get this question, is a certificate valuable? Yes, if it is of the local country. So if you want to move to Australia and if you have a certificate from Australia, doesn't matter, what the kind of certificate, doesn't matter how many hours you put in, doesn't matter if it's a full course or not. Why is that certificate important? Because it already shows your interest in the country. It already shows that you've started taking steps, your baby steps. You're trying to see if there's any university that fits your liking. You're trying to see what kind of educational experiences are being offered by the country. And if you do even a small course, you kind of get an insight into what the culture is like. Doesn't matter if the course is 4 to 5 hours, the 4 to 5 hours that you spend in the course itself is going to be hours that you spend in Australia. That's why it makes a lot of difference. Alright, I know I have a lot to talk about Australia, but I do not want to make this video super lengthy. नहीं तो ये movie बन जाएगी. If you guys have any other questions about Australia, like the living costs or what income can you expect as a student, or once you graduate, which part of Australia you should move to, how PR process works, and all of that, let me know in the comments below. I'll make sure to cover Australia a little more in details once the borders reopen fully and once they resume their processing of visas completely. But I don't see that happening in the near future. Who knows? क्या पता दुनिया 3x speed पे चल रही हो तो हो जाए, and maybe then I'll cover a video. But if you have any other questions related to Australia, please put them down in the comment box below. Also, let me know which country you'd like me to cover next, because I am absolutely always excited to talk about the world. Please hit the like button if you like this video and subscribe to the channel, because I keep creating content like this and I keep covering countries like this on my channel. I promise to see you guys in the next video. Until then, please make sure that you stay safe and take care of yourself.